Shalom, Yashrala. Give all praise unto Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Give honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and that we will. A salutation and much love for you, Aki, pushing his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So, hey, you see how this here week is turning out, man. Now, hey, like we was saying, these things could lead to, major shutdowns of a lot of things, And what's funny is, this thing only been around here for, I believe, 3 weeks over here in America. But like I said in the previous video, how everybody was laughing and joking, oh, that don't faze me, and so on and so forth. I've had people who literally came out and told me, like, oh, I don't believe that God's going to come and judge the world or whatever, whatnot, and I don't believe in all that, so on and so forth. Now, this person came in, and they was all bossed up when they were saying it. Now they come around, they all so-called humbled down, like, hey, what you think about that coronavirus? Now you all concerned or whatever, whatnot. Now, because you're seeing the effects that it's having, these Americans over here be all comfortable when they be hearing about things happen anywhere else in the world, like, oh, but shit, that ain't over here, it ain't me. So they don't really worry about it, whatever, whatnot. They be like, well, it ain't us. But now that it's hitting over here in America, and they're starting to see these effects of things, they're starting to, what's going on? Throughout my whole week, at work and stuff like that, and talking to certain people, some of my clients or whatever, whatnot at work, I just one Edomite dude who, his biggest concern is his damn dog. That's his whole life is his dog. The dog is sick. It's like the end of the world to him, But now all of a sudden, he came out, was talking about, with the coronavirus and so on and so forth, things are getting crazy. What's next? UFOs? Like, little do you know. You know what I'm saying? And this is an Edomite. Like, yeah, man, like, yo, this is the end of you Edomites, man. It's really the end of all you proud-ass people, too, man. All right? Because you have a lot of, majority of our people who want to, 2/3 of our people want to go walking hand in hand with Esau or so-called be above situations or whatever, whatnot. You always see them so-called smart, dumb niggas. They're like, nah, nigga, I don't need that. No, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm so on and so forth or whatever, whatnot, or they feel like that they have, they know what's going on or whatever, whatnot. Especially these people who, tell them that the government is out, how Jake and Esau situation worked out. Like, yo, man, we won't say it like that. Like these Edomites, we won't say it like, oh, these Edomites trying to kill Jake, but you know how they say it in the world, like, the so-called white man and this and that. You'll have some Jake like, oh, I'm tired of hearing about the white man. He ain't the problem, so on and so forth, But now all of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, now what's going on? These same people who so-called live this worry-free lifestyle, oh, no, you be worrying about this too much. You always on that negativity. Now they over here in a mind state now of like, oh shit, things are starting to get a little tight around the situation now, And they hear us talking about these things like y'all are just doom and gloom prophets or whatever, whatnot. They ain't gonna shut stuff down over here. But now all of a sudden, which we're gonna get into, a lot of these schools, where I'm at, schools are just now going on a spring break. But it wouldn't surprise me if they ain't gonna come back from spring break. They'll just be like, you know what, we're gonna postpone it for a little bit longer to see what's going on, because there's a lot of school and sport events that's been canceled. All right, there's a lot of sport events that's been like major sports events been canceled. All right, with these TV shows, how you say, when you're on a TV show set or whatever, whatnot, they're trying to, how do I put it, basically have empty studios, more or less to say, Seeing this with a lot of these other events as well, too. They're trying to get certain sporting events and things like that where the stadiums are empty, but they still, pretty much have the performers, But now, like we were saying, like, yo, man, it's not just that you should be worried about getting infected by the coronavirus, all right? That's not the only way this shit's going to hit your ass, man, all right? Because, you could go around and not get sick from it, you know what I'm saying? You could be rolling around and not ever get, infected or whatever, whatnot, but then all of a sudden, your job shuts down, because this is what's going on. Now they have, I believe, up in New York, I think it is, or a lot of places, because this is all going pretty much real time right now, where a lot of places are pretty much, changing up certain things. I remember when we were doing our live stream on Wednesday, midway through our live stream, notifications was coming through. Tom Hanks and his wife got the coronavirus and this and that and so on and so forth. We found out that they had canceled the NBA, while we was on the Wednesday night live. We was doing that, then all of a sudden this notification came through, that notification came through, this notification. So things was changing rapidly, Then by the next day, they was adding more things to the list, So now people woke up, you know what I'm saying? Because at first, oh man, the stock market always does this. You guys are always panicking or whatever, whatnot. It's gonna rebound, which it does rebound. They're manipulating those things, but you have these people that's in that mindset, that mind state that everything is all good. It's just like how I was growing up in the world as a little kid or whatever, whatnot. You with your friend or whatever, whatnot. You see them doing some dumb shit. bro, you're gonna get caught doing that. You're gonna get caught doing this. Bro, you worry too much. You, man, stop being scary, whatever, whatnot, you know. But in reality, they be lying to their damn self, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, they actually thought about certain things that you know, use this, you know, discernment or whatever, whatnot, you know, the shit that I am doing, you know, it's just like these damn dope boys or whatever, whatnot. You'll see these dope boys that's out here that's like selling dope. They know they selling dope, but they super live with it. Like, I wish a motherfucker would come over here. They, you know, they selling dope right there in public. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the grocery store, all loud with it. You know what I'm saying? The manager might come up to you or whatever, whatnot. Like, hey, man, you can't be doing that in here. Hey, shit, you trying to buy something too? You know, so they act like, oh, no, you can't, you know, like they can't be touched. You know, they got that mindset, like, you know, when you see them, like, bro, you dumb, bro. All right, can't tell this motherfucker nothing right. But now, all of a sudden, you know, now you want to be all scary about certain things, you know? But this is what these things are doing to this here place. Like I said, you don't have to catch the coronavirus for it to affect you, man. All right, they shut down these schools or whatever, whatnot. You know, your kids staying at home all day long, man. All right, now if your job don't shut down, you gotta sit at home and watch your kid because your kid's too small to leave them at home by themselves. Now you losing work for that, or your job shuts down, man. All right, you know, there's a lot of these jobs or whatever, whatnot. That's saying, hey, man, we, you know, like how they trying to push for places where, you know, I've read a couple different numbers where there's 1,000 or more people, 500 or more people, or whatever, whatnot. You know, they're canceling these gathering spots, these events. So, give me a second. But you know, I forgot. You know, they got a couple different numbers out. You know, but just imagine if you work at a big ass factory. You know, where at this factory there may be over 1,000 people at this here factory at any given time, man. You know, when you think about the factories like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and things like that, you know, Amazon, you know, there's more than 1,000 people there. So like, well, you can't have 1,000 people gather like this. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to shut this here place down or whatever, whatnot, you know, or 500 people. So now all those people can't even go to work, not because there's somebody there with the coronavirus, but because they're trying to stop the so-called spread of it, you know? They're stopping travel to like Europe and certain places like that. But how much more? You know, there was a case, I think it came out yesterday, where there was a dude that was, I believe, I don't know where the hell he was at, probably in like New York or some shit like that, happened to get on the plane and fly down to Florida knowing he had the coronavirus. All right. So when you have situations like that, you know, I'm like, well, if this motherfucker doing it, you know, especially here in America, these proud ass people, oh, I'll be all right. I ain't got the coronavirus over here coughing and sneezing and, well, not really sneezing, but coughing and whatever, whatnot, you know, so on and so forth. And then they know that they got the shit, you know. They're like, nah, bro, them ain't no allergies you got, bro. Like, and that's another thing, you know, because we in where I'm at, it's like a lot of pollen out right now. So like, you know, a lot of people have allergies with this. And then it's funny because I was at work earlier this week, and because you know, people have bad allergies where everything is covered in pollen and shit like that, and you know, people are sneezing and stopped up or whatever, whatnot, and people, oh, you got a coronavirus. Like, bitches, the goddamn pollen outside. This ain't even the signs. You know, you had coronavirus, you be coughing and feeling all kind of ill and shit, not just like sneezing and shit because of the pollen. Everything is yellow outside right now. But hey, man, this could also turn into a so-called false readings of things. People think, oh, it's just this or it's just that. Then all of a sudden, they come to find out they had a coronavirus, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, all these things are starting to spread and it's taking hold, and it's causing America to come to a grinding halt, man. All right, from your jobs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people a lot of companies are actually laying off because you have a lot of the, let's say, travel agencies, hotels and things like that, because, you know, they depend on a lot of people traveling in droves. But if nobody's really traveling like that because everybody's scared to get on airplanes, you think that, you know, Delta and stuff and these big companies are going to still be hiring all these people? Like, well, shit, we used to have 100 flights out this here airport leave a day. Now we're only down to like 10 flights. You know, we can't even pack you know, a whole plane. You know what I'm saying? It's hard enough to pack one plane. So what are we gonna do with all these baggage handlers that's just standing around all damn day? We ain't gonna be paying them for just sitting here all day. It ain't no work for them. You know, we gonna go ahead and not quarantine them off, but, you know, lay them off or whatever, whatnot. And then what happens if, you know, again, you have a big enough gathering? All right, well, we gotta shut that down, man. All right, and so on and so forth, man. So, and just how they talk about people, you know, and they have people thinking about cross-contamination. Well, you don't, you know, if you don't want to be on an airplane with somebody, of course, you know, in that scenario, you have like people breathing inside recirculated air or whatever, whatnot. But, and they talking about people in close quarters, but that ain't really gonna stop nothing, man. Just imagine you go into Walmart, all right? How many people go into Walmart and use like a debit or a credit card that's touching that damn keypad, or the gas station? You see what I'm saying? You got all these different random people coming in and coming out. How many people touching gas pumps and stuff like that, you know? Don't even know that they got it. Now they spreading to the next motherfuckers. And you see what I'm saying? This is how it's just rolling the fuck out. But nevertheless, you know, with all these things shutting things down, now these Americans are starting to see, doom and gloom coming. Now they all, hey, you starting to see they getting caught like a thief in the night. Like I said that about the dude earlier this week, they was talking about what the hell's going on with this coronavirus. I'm really scared about this and so on and so forth. It's really got me wanting to stay in the house. And I mean, these goddamn Chinese people, these are the type of people that want to try to kill us. They ain't never really liked us. I'm like, motherfucker, this is retribution coming back for all the shit you did to everybody else, putting out chemical warfare. Don't forget about the smallpox that you gave to the so-called Native American Indians, or the syphilis that you gave to so-called Negroes. That's chemical warfare, man. All right, so now when the shit's coming back around on your ass, you know what I'm saying? You can't be getting all mad calling these people, oh, they just hate us. They're prejudiced. Like, come on, bro. Y'all been dropping bombs and fucking people over in all kind of different ways for so long, Hey, on the flip side of that, you got Saudi Arabia, which is an American ally, and Russia. All right, they're basically what they call it in a war with each other, but they're basically refusing to cut oil prices, all right, in this here time or whatever, whatnot, which is affecting America, because America became like one of the number one oil, I don't want to say producers, maybe exporters in the world once they started doing that fracking, which was the shale, getting what they call, I think, shale oil, or SHALE. But nevertheless, with this, it kind of put a strain on the market, not on the market, but put a strain on the big players that was, like Saudi Arabia was a big seller of oil before this happened. But now all of a sudden you didn't outproduce their ass. It's just like Amazon. Amazon is getting buku money right now because a lot of people are just using Amazon because that's like a one of a kind type of store or whatever, whatnot. But now just imagine if there was another store, or there is one, Alibaba or AliExpress or whatever, whatnot, but over here in America, all right, just like Amazon, but all the prices was like 75% cheaper than that, Amazon would be out of business the very next day, man. All right, so this is what they're doing with the oil, with Russia, Saudi Arabia, and America. All right, so for instance, let's say America needs to sell their oil, all right, to make a, just to break even, all right, not to make no profit, but just to pay their bills off. So if it costs us $10 to do this, we at least need to make $10 back, right? Just so we can break even, all right? We ain't even making a profit. We just need to make at least to cover what we put in, Or let me put it to you this way, because Jake don't understand this type of terminology. You trying to be a drug dealer, right? You done bought your drugs for $500. You cannot go and sell your drugs to sell all your drugs to come back and only make $200. Be like, all right, I bought this for $500. You know what I'm saying? I at least need to make my $500 back before I can even make $1. So I can't go out there and buy $500 worth of drugs and then try to sell this shit and only get $200 back. That means I'm losing $300 every damn time. So it'd be better for me not even trying to sell drugs, because every time I'm going to go sell drugs, I'm losing money, right? So this is the same thing that's going on with these American oil producers. A lot of them, except for a small handful of them, are actually they still pretty much in operation, but they only breaking even. All right, so here's the example. America needs to be able to sell their oil for, let's say, $20, right? And now $20 is just for them to pay their bills and their overhead to just break even, right? But now all of a sudden Saudi Arabia and Russia then teamed up and is like, you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna sell our oil for let's say $10, right? Well, if America need $20 just to pay their bills, in a real life situation, if they needed to make $20 to pay their bills, they would probably be selling their damn oil for like $30, so they could be making a $10 profit every time. $20 is going to cover the bills, and then that $10 that's left over is going to be our profits. However, if our competition is now selling their oil, let's just say for $5, bro, there's no way we can compete. We got to at least get $20 back just to pay our bills, bro. So if we turn our lights on and bring our employees into the damn factory or whatever, whatnot, bro, we're going to go bankrupt just trying to pay these motherfuckers, man. We can't even afford shipping or nothing like that, man. So this is what's really fucking up the oil prices and competition for America. Now you will see, for in the very beginning half, a drop of prices of oil for basically at the gas pumps and so on and so forth and things like that. But what is going on, like I said, is these companies, they can't afford to be in business. All right, it's like, yo, bro, like if I open up my doors, it's gonna cost me $20 just to open my doors, turn the lights on, and bring all these employees in. But I'm only, gonna be able to sell my oil and only make $5, bro. I might as well just, save my $20. I'd be straight. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I do this, I'm losing $15. Not even making money. I'm paying just to open up. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's going on with the Russia and America situation, man. Well, Russia and Saudi Arabia, and then America and the oil situation. All right. But nevertheless, you have all these different things that are shutting down around here. Let me click on this real quick. It says Euro Olympics and the Kentucky Derby. A coronavirus may kill your favorite event next. It says football, golf, motor racing fixtures have all canceled due to the spread of the coronavirus, with more countries restricting large gatherings. What's next on the chopping block? Ultimately, everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, the coronavirus is going to keep running out or whatever, whatnot, until they shut everything down. But, hey, you don't know what the next thing is going to come up around the corner, because you have to understand this is the Most High sending this. All right? This ain't just no random event like, oh, shit, that was scary. You know what I'm saying? It's like, something happening, you riding a roller coaster, right? Now, the roller coaster going up and you going, and then it start going down, you feel like you're going to fall out or whatever, whatnot. That's a controlled so-called fear or whatever, whatnot. Eventually, ultimately you safe in that bitch. Second of all, the ride gonna be over with. You doing this for entertainment purpose. So eventually, over time, you're gonna be up off this ride. No need to really, really be scared, like real time scared. But however, this is more or less like a scenario where, all right, this could, the coronavirus, like you already got it going on right now. The coronavirus is out. That's one thing that could be attacking you. You could get infected with that. Jobs and all these events is shutting down and things like that. So, hey, man, you already living paycheck to paycheck. So what happens if they, I know they made a joke about that today because they were talking about the schools and stuff like that, and other companies and things like that, changing up their policies real quick over this situation. I came into work early this morning. They was talking about yeah, man, this is our last day of work. We're going to be out of work for a month. We're going to be shut down for the next month or whatever, whatnot, Imagine getting that message at work, man. You're going to be out of work for a whole month. You see what I'm saying? Most, especially Jake, Jake be having to work that overtime just to make ends meet, let alone you taking off a whole month, not getting paid. Bro, all your bills are going to wind up lapsing and you're going to be that much further in the hole. You already borrowing to get by. All right. So you have people actually getting infected. All right. Then you also have jobs shutting down or slimming up with employment. All right. You got people fighting over a scarcity of products inside the damn stores. Can't really go nowhere. All right. You got all these different fears going around. All right, then you got the economy that's actually tanking with the stock market, the oil prices, and so on and so forth, man. All right, so you got all these different things hitting all at one time. How much more? We still got a whole year to go, man. We're in the third month, so we got 11 more. What is that, 11, 12? Well, 9 more months, you know what I'm saying, to go in this here year? So and this thing's only been around for, what, three weeks? So who knows what else is around the corner? What else can compile to this, man? All right, just let there be a natural disaster, like a so-called natural disaster, like a major flood or something like that, or a major fire or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden you got this, major fire going on, or this major flood, or this major hurricane going on, or whatever, whatnot, all in the midst of everything trying to be shut down. They're trying to send a FEMA out to help these people or whatever, whatnot. But then you also got the coronavirus at the same time, man. All right, imagine, the coronavirus and things going on now, and September 11th happening all at the same time. They trying to get up, up in the buildings to help the people or whatever, whatnot. You got that crisis going on. Then you also have the coronavirus at the same time. It's like, fuck, we don't know what the fuck to do and what to tackle first, man. It's just more on top of more on top of more, all right? It says Formula One announced the cancellation of Sunday season's opening Australia Grand Prix on Friday after McLaren mechanic tested positive for coronavirus. All right, let me see. I'm gonna just read through this real quick. Yeah, the UK, they talking about something now. We straight for a moment, but ultimately they're gonna start shutting that down because really Europe is like one of the hardest hit places right about now. So they're saying here's some of the events that may be canceled. The Euro 2020, which is basically like a how they call it, I guess they call it a football league or whatever, whatnot. Nevertheless, it says Tokyo Olympics, chance of cancellation. Oh, well, the soccer situation, they talking about what a 99% chance that they're going to be canceled. Tokyo Olympics, all right? They talking about, no, everything is all good. We're going to still have it and everything like that. But another thing that popped up over there was the fact that they've basically been lying about the radiation levels over there in Japan because they're trying to, I think they either have one stadium or a stadium or basically all the stadiums they're going to have over there in the city of Fukushima just to show forth to the world that, no, this place is straight. I mean, it's straight to live it. But what? The radiation levels are way higher than they actually reporting on. So you can go over there and get sick off of the radiation that's over there. You get radiation poisoning in your bloodstream, fuck up your DNA. All right, let alone all these people traveling from around the world with the coronavirus. All right. Glastonbury. I'm not sure what this is. I guess it's a music festival. So this year's festival season is shaping up to be a dull one too, with the number of major music events already affected in the U.S. The Coachella Festival, beloved of hipsters and money influencer class, I guess that's supposed to be rappers, or I guess, have been pushed back to October, while the Texas South by Southwest has been canceled for the first time in 34 years. While Glastonbury organizers say that they're closely monitoring the spread of the coronavirus, they revealed more than 90 performers on Thursday night. However, the festival is due to kick off in late June, right when Downing Street Chief Scientific Advisor Patrick Vallance predicts the virus will reach its peak in the UK. All right. The Burning Man, which is another music event. All right. Chance of cancellation 50%. All right. The Kentucky Derby. All right, now, which in the Kentucky Derby, they've where is it at? Let me just read it. It says Churchill Downs Incorporated is still deliberating on whether to hold an annual Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May, though the race course has canceled all remaining races this month. It said on Thursday that preparations to host a 146th Kentucky Derby are still moving forward. However, the statement added the final decision will be made at a closer date. So ultimately, what you have is a lot of these different places that are shutting down over the coronavirus, man. And really, when you look at the news and all these articles, everything's pretty much talking about the coronavirus and things that has to do with it, And also, hey, this one was funny how they said, dealing with China, where they basically left Spain to go back to basically the Wuhan, where the shit popped off, because really, and they're not really reporting on this, but apparently, the cases over there are starting to subside over there, right? But as you see through these other things, all right, this is Democrat weaponized coronavirus against Trump. Russia restricts air travel to EU. Coronavirus is coming hot. The ballots, which I believe, what state was it? It was one of the states where they kind of pushed that back. And you have these, not to say world leaders, but these people in these international governments, whether it be a world leader or just somebody in the government, they're also catching it as well too, These celebrities, these stars. You had Tom Hanks and his wife, all right? It says, oh, here it is. Louisiana becomes the first state to postpone Democratic primaries, delaying for 2 months due to the coronavirus outbreak. So, man, you might not never know what can happen. Donald Trump just signed a bill. Let me see if it should be up here at the top. Trump declares national emergency over coronavirus pandemic, unlocking $50 billion in funding. All right, so who's not to say they can go back again and be like, you know what, we got to have a full martial law type lockdown on this here situation to help stop this and save money on this all right? They're talking about the UFC fights as well, too. Now, here in Iran, the Ayatollah Khomeini was basically talking about, this is pretty much like a weaponized or a biological weapon that was used by America, basically, But which, hey, like I just mentioned earlier, before they had the syphilis experiments, you had the smallpox that they gave Gad, you know what I'm saying? So they've been in the how you call it, not to say biological warfare, but they also have another one like that. But it's basically where they use chemicals, like not just chemical warfare, but it's like with specific genes, so they can target just a specific race or a specific demographic, civilian population. All right. Now, Brazario says he's tested negative for coronavirus. Now, I believe he just met with Donald Trump, and I believe it was his aide or something, wound up catching the coronavirus. All right. See, here it says that, earlier today they say he tested positive for it. All right. But, a little while after that, maybe 2 hours after, they said that he didn't test, or he tested negative. All right. And this one was funny. The blood of Jesus will protect you from coronavirus. All right. First of all, if you want to go like that, whose blood does he share on the planet Earth today? You know what I'm saying? Like closely, the most closely. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we've been telling you, because he had relatives and things like that. So he came from one of the nations of the planet Earth. All right. But nevertheless, he has the same blood and DNA. If he was to do a DNA test, if he was to draw his blood and do a DNA test on him, and then try to find out who was he closely related to, you find out it was the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who were the Israelites according to the scriptures. All right, but now it's just funny that these Edomites over here say, no, the blood of Jesus is going to save us. No, he died for the Israelites, and mainly for, well, really ultimately for all Israel. But, on this side, that the elect, all right, the 144,000 the elect, they don't have to have their blood shed on this here side, you know, and they could be their sins could be covered over here. All right, because you know 2/3 they're gonna wind up having to pay for their sins with their life over here, you know. France bans gathering of over 100 people as government battles to stem coronavirus outbreak. And I think that's the smallest number that I've heard with groups of people gathering. All right. Oh, look at this one. Iranian security forces to clear streets and impose nationwide lockdown within 24 hours as Tehran struggles to contain basically the coronavirus. All right. So you're starting to see a lot of these countries go into full lockdown mode. All right. That's all we're going to grab in these here articles. Let me grab some scriptures real quick. But nevertheless, hey, man, this is the time. You know, these are the times that we've been telling you about, man. All right, let me grab that first. This is 2nd Ezra 9. 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before. All right, what are part of the signs? All right, we can go to Matthew 24. In fact, let me go ahead and grab that. Or let me see. So we always grab this in Matthew 24. This is Matthew 21:9. It says, but when you should hear of wars, right, which you know how Matthew 24 wars and rumors of wars, right, we've been hearing about that already, all right? But when you should hear of wars and commotions, all right, dealing with, you know, like I was saying, we heard about this a little recently with Syria and Turkey, all right? They kind of like the new ones that's kind of going back and forth with each other right now. But then you also have in other places as well, too. When you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So for the minute of the Lord, we are rejoicing in these times because why? This is the time that the Lord told us about, you know what? Let me just come back to that. Then said he unto me, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, which going into, you know, your race wars, and then you got wars with these other nations. A great earthquake shall be in diverse places. Like you just had all these earthquakes rock Puerto Rico. Famines, all right. You also have like that big ass locust plague that's running through Africa, I believe India, I want to say Pakistan or Afghanistan, and possibly going over to China. All right, these locusts is consuming every damn thing right now, man. All right, it says and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines and pestilence. All right, what are some of these pestilence? The coronavirus. And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right, now you just had what was it, a super moon that just took place, man. All right, and then also in the news they talking about these meteorites coming closer and closer to Earth or whatever, whatnot, you know, seeing more and more sightings of chariots. I know I have personally seen, you know, 2 chariots over the last 1 or 2 weeks, man. All right. Let me see, verse 12. Let's lock it. Let me jump down to verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, like we were just going into, and upon the earth distress of nations. What do you have going on right now? You got the coronavirus on every continent on the planet Earth, basically except for Antarctica. All right, so what you have, how do I say, great distress upon these nations with perplexity, man. All right. Verse 26, men's hearts fell in them for the fear and for the looking of those things which are coming on the earth, and for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So, hey, like I gave that testimony about the dude flipping out over the coronavirus. So what's next? UFOs? But yet you also have a lot of these people now that's starting to they don't even realize, like, why people fighting over toilet paper. What about food? Y'all should be stockpiling food before they start fighting over that, you know? Or X, Y, and Z, and so on and so forth. But all these things start to come. You have some people that's a little wise that's, you know, thinking about these things ahead of time or whatever, whatnot, but not what they panicking like a motherfucker right now, man. All right. So let me go back up to first Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right. So what was that precept? Isaiah 65. Oh, I know. Let me go back down. Actually, the point I wanted to grab was in verse 23. It says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be a great distress upon the land and wrapped upon the people. All right, so what? You have all these calamities happening or whatever, whatnot. People are in a massive panic and scare. Before I grab that in Isaiah, let me go to the book of Job. Let me find it real fast. This is Job 18:11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. All right, so what you have going on right now, like I said, man, you have all these so-called different fears that's driving these Americans crazy, especially the ones that believe in this place, man. All the stock market crashing, all the schools are shutting down, all the banks are shutting down, the grocery stores run out of this, so on and so forth. Oh, now, my job is shut down or whatever, whatnot. Oh, shit, my kid came home with the coronavirus. All these different things got these people that's all shook up right now, because like I said, about 2-3 weeks ago, everybody was all laughing and joking and making memes about all kind of different things. But now all of a sudden they all taking it so-called serious or whatever, whatnot, in their minds at least. Let me jump down to, let me just read all the way through verse 12. His strength shall be hunger bitten and destruction shall be ready at his side. All right, so what? Those lies and everything that these Edomites be talking about or whatever, whatnot, and believing in, this is basically going to be your own downfall, man. All right, verse 15, and he shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. So ultimately, you're going to catch these damn nukes. All right, let me go from there to, let me go back. To 2nd Ezra chapter 9. 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of these signs, which I've told you before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world. And that's what we've been telling you about these prophecies. And now what? The Lord is visiting this world by bringing these plagues upon this here earth. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and you got a global uprising against the establishment, all right, because they squeeze them of all their so-called resources. People ain't really got shit no more, man. All right. Verse 4, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And this is one of the things that, along with the Lord keeping us in this in faith, but it's the fear of the Lord, man. All right. So look, we see these things coming to pass, like, oh shit, this shit is shaping up. So, the things we've been taught or whatever, whatnot, that shit like it's gonna come to pass for real. You could be like, oh, I don't believe the nukes exist or whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden you come into this here truth, like, bro, they gotta exist, because you see these prophecies and how these things are laid out. It don't make no sense that it don't, roll out that way. One land gonna be destroyed, the waste to destroy the whole land, gonna be shot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Come on, it's irrefutable. But now these things are all speaking loud and clear, and it's all irrefutable. So it says again, verse 4, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So are the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And so that's what you're witnessing right now, man. The Lord is preparing the way for YAHAWASHI's return, man. So he's starting to stir up all these different things, man. No more living comfortably, no more focusing on this and focusing on that. Now everybody got to focus on what the Lord's talking about. Verse 6. Even so the times also where the highest have plain beginnings and wonder beginning Salah. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by the faith whereby ye have believed. All right, so look, only the men of the Lord gonna wholeheartedly believe into this thing. You're gonna still have some of these people that's out there. Now we ain't saying there's nothing wrong with you trying to take whatever precautionary situations that you can. You know what I'm saying? But at the end all be all, we rocking by faith, man. We ain't gonna catch nothing unless the Most High sanction that, So and it is what it is, man. All right. You know what? Let me go from there to Isaiah now. This Isaiah's, I'm gonna start at verse 15. Isaiah 65:12. Therefore will I number you to the swords, all ye that bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. This is dealing with you 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because the Most High has us out on the highways and the byways calling out unto you, but you laugh and you scoff, you know what I'm saying, and keep it moving. So, hey, man, now it's going to be time for you to bow down into the sword. Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye be ashamed. You know, so right now, a lot of these people are ashamed. Let me keep reading. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation. So right now, you got a lot of these people walking around with these long faces, and, oh, I'm sick, or I got this, or I got that. My friend is sick, my mama's sick, my kids are sick, or whatever, whatnot, you know. Now they all walking around with these long ass faces, you know, or my job shut down or whatever, whatnot, you know. But what? When the Lord was calling you out to come serve him, you ain't have time for him, you know. So in your calamities, the Lord ain't got time to be trying to deliver you or listen to your prayers or the things you got going on, man. You know, like I said, the minute of the Lord, like I say here, we're going to be rejoicing, because while we've been putting in this here work, we've been believing and having faith that these things are all going to come to pass. And now once we start seeing these things come to pass, we know the Most High is actually working and dealing, man. So what? We rejoice at these things, man. All right. You know what? I might grab this and close out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse well, I can start at the top. It's actually, this whole thing is pretty good. You know what? Let me just start at the top. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1. Remember thy creator in the days of thy youth, when the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasures in them. So don't put it off, man. Serve the Lord. You know, as soon as you come across this here truth, man, do something for the Lord. It says, when the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Those are these how you would say, the head of the household. The house is America. The head of the household would be like your politicians, your governors, mayors, all the way up to the president. Same with these other countries as well too, you know. And you start to see these things happening as we speak. Verse 3 again, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and grinders cease, because they are few, and they that look out of the window are darkened. Like we was going into earlier, you know, they shutting down a lot of these different jobs, people are losing their jobs, and so on and so forth. So what? The grinding is starting to cease, man. All right. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low. Going back into what? Working again, you know? So this is why you're starting to see a lot of these businesses so-called closed down or whatever, whatnot. Not saying over the coronavirus, but, you know, and its longevity, more or less. Say you've been seeing more and more companies either merge or just straight go out of business, you know? That's because why? Let me read it again. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 4. The door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low. Because why? Well, we could also read that too. You know, there basically it's not gonna be no work or no hire for Babylon, man. All right, it says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, so when dealing with these different scenarios, all right, when dealing with these, hang on, let me get a drink. So like it, throat got dry. When dealing with these different scenarios and everything starting to shut down, all right, this is going to cause what? Like I said, an economic slowdown for people's jobs. They're not going to work for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe got to pay a babysitter or something like that or whatever, whatnot, you know? They can already not afford these things. So this is going to ultimately start crippling America even further than what it already is, man. All right? Verse 5. Also, when they shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish. So when them being in fear of the things which is on high is like right now, the coronavirus, stock market, gas prices, whatever, whatnot, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, you know, this is where it's like, oh, what else is coming down? What else is coming down the pipeline or whatever, whatnot, you know? So it says, now this is basically Esau going down, right? It says, also when they shall be afraid of which is on high, and fear shall be in the way, the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail. All right, so we're going back to the, you know, the flourishing and the grasshopper. You know, it's dealing with Jacob starting to come up now as Esau's falling down. All right, it says, and a grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because because man goeth to his long home, and mourners go out about in the streets. So people are going back to where, these people that's over here in America not from America, they're going back to their own countries and things like that, because why? Ain't no more work over here. The economy slowing down over here. You got all these people catching this coronavirus over here, whatever, whatnot. You got just all out chaos over here. America's a real dangerous place with all these people out here that's strung out on drugs and everything like that, man. All right. So this is no longer that golden city, man. It's starting to decay. It says, or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. All right. So going into all these things before things starts tearing down, and for instance, right. These are the times that we're living in right now. See, you still got your job. You still can, you still living paycheck to paycheck, right? But what? Before you actually lose your house and everything like that, man, this is going to get way worse. I was talking to somebody the other day. They was talking about how, man, I'm just now getting back on my feet from not having a job for like 4-6 months or something like that. And I'm so far behind. Everything is in collections. I need to file for bankruptcy or whatever, whatnot. Now, they just now getting their job back and just now getting back to work, trying to catch back up or whatever, whatnot. But what happens is, and this person works at a hospital. What happens if they shut down a damn hospital or limit, the amount of people that's coming in and out of the hospital, That's going to even more fuck you up. You was already riding on 3 wheels and now you got that 4 flat tire, man. It's a lost case now, man. All right. Let me grab 1, possibly 2 more. I'll have to find this one. I think it's Jeremiah 49, though. Stocky, give me a second. Okay. Well, where's that? Verse 9. Here we go. Jeremiah 51:7. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahawah's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So, America's being that golden city, all right, that golden cup in the Most High's hand, all right. But what? These other nations were made drunk off of America's philosophies, and so, for instance, right, America didn't shut them down, but pretty much cut into Saudi Arabia and Russia's revenue when it comes to the oil, right? So now all of a sudden they reversing it now, like, nah, y'all ain't finna, that first of all, they was drinking their wine, all right, really Saudi Arabia, because that was their ally, but they were affecting one of their main allies. But then it's like, what, we cool as long as y'all sell us military equipment. But now they realizing, like, bro, we could be making way more money than that shit and still buy our military equipment if we just produce our own shit at this certain price, make it competitive, all right. But what? America had to slow down their production with their shale oil, all right, or the fracking and stuff like that. So now, again, you have Saudi Arabia and Russia basically selling their oil a lot cheaper than what America can even afford to turn their damn lights on with, So, they drinking this here wine, these philosophies, these trade deals or whatever, whatnot. But now they're starting to break out of all these different things. They starting to wake up to the madness that's going on, all right? Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. All right, so, hey, that's really the time we're living in now, Let's just say 2 weeks ago. Let's just say a month ago, right? The biggest thing that was going on over here in America was what? Kobe Bryant dying, See how quick everybody forgot all about that, right? But now everybody is panicking over whether or not they're going to catch the coronavirus, get off from their job, they're going to even have a job to come back to. If their kids going out on spring break, going to come back with the coronavirus, they're going to lose their kids. Everything is pretty much coming to a grinding halt here in America, man. All right, all because of this here coronavirus or whatever, whatnot, So verse 9, I call this the Trump scripture. It says, we would have healed Babylon, let's make America great again, or try to, in this sense, trying to recover from this here situation, Saudi Arabia and Russia now is working to basically cut America out, or make their profits. So what? America's losing out on the oil over there, all right? You also have the economy already crippled. Well, that bubble is already about to pop inside the stock market or whatever, whatnot, because like I keep going into, the stock market was emptied out in 2001, all right? In fact, you can YouTube this. Go on YouTube and go to type in September 10th, 2001. All right, there's a speech that was made by Donald Rumsfeld, all right, who was, I believe, the Secretary of Defense at that point in time, all right, talking about how they had lost like $9 trillion or some shit like that, and they couldn't account for it. Right now, when you go into the 9/11 situation, you know that 2 buildings in Manhattan was hit, but 3 of them fell down. You know, Building 7. If you knew what was in Building 7, which was the records for all the deeds for all the businesses and things like that, certain things like that. So if you didn't know who owned what and so on and so forth, and certain accounts, then you can't really you don't have basically a ledger. So they wound up stealing all this damn money, and then right after that, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't find under the so-called who owned what or who owed what or so on and so forth. Then they went on this here war, had emergency spending trillions of dollars. Well, they weren't spending trillions at that point, but damn near close enough, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden they ran out of money. So what? Bush had to give you that stimulus package, then to keep it going again. But you know, you didn't max out your credit card, so what? They give you they raise your credit limit basically. They didn't, you know, you still got the debt there. They just raise your credit limit. So the only thing you can do is go further in the debt. You know, your credit limit was 500. You didn't max that out. All right, we're gonna turn that bitch to 700. You know, that was when Bush was in office. Then after that 700, you didn't max that out. All right, Barack Obama coming to office. We're gonna extend that 700 to 1,000. All right, so now you know, but you couldn't pay the 500 back to begin with. So now you at 1,000, you still in the hole, but you was able to spend a little bit more. But now you got Donald Trump in office. He's like, you know what? You was up at 1,000, can't afford that, so we're gonna increase it to like 1 million. And so see how long it takes for you to get there. But that's where we're at now with these. They're still injecting money, I believe, every damn night into the stock market. This is where you're seeing this money going up at in the stock market. All right. Now a lot of this stock market shit is just people afraid of certain things or whatever, whatnot. For instance, if I had stock in Delta or whatever airline, right, and I see that a lot of people aren't traveling, right? So that's going to devalue my stock or whatever. Well, it's not going to devalue the stock because the value of the company's still there. People still going to fly. They just panicking over this here scenario, right? So these investors are pulling out of the stocks so they can either hold their money or move it somewhere else that's a little bit more lucrative at the time. So they're going to pull out of the Delta stocks, which is going to in turn make Delta look like it's failing as a company on the stock market. You know, their stock's going to be going down or whatever, whatnot. But it's just people in their emotions of, oh, man, shit, if people ain't flying right now, you know, stocks are going to go down. But then once, you know, people start traveling again full force, which we know they're going to be traveling, you know, full force again. All right, those stocks are going to go right back up, you know. But nevertheless, you know, and all that's manipulated to end all be all. But nevertheless, you have all these different calamities come upon Babylon the Great. You know, we just talking about here in America, right? Not to mention around the world. You know, you can talk about global trade, man. All right, how that's going to shape this whole scenario, man. If you can't import and export, you know, or for our instance, you know, we import the majority of our things from China, man. All right, now what if a lot of these bigger companies that stock their shelves with products from China, you know what I'm saying, which is damn near every store that you can find, you know what I'm saying, like, nah, it's too risky for us to do all that. We ain't even gonna get no shipments in, you know. So all these things are how you say chipping away at Babylon all at the same time. And how's let me go back up. Oh no, it's not even in this. Let me grab that last precept then, where it says it's Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14:4 says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased?" All right, that's talking about here in America. You know, like I said, man, it was so funny about how a week ago, 2 weeks ago, everybody was all, I don't care about the coronavirus. Get away from me with all that negativity. You always talking about negativity. If we don't talk about this negativity, it ain't going to come to us. But now, you're noticing your kids' school is shut down. Their sporting events is shut down. All right, your job, you can't even go to work no more. Now you're trying to figure out, like, hold up, we running out of groceries. And I got rent that's going to be due. And I ain't been to work in 3 weeks. What are we going to do now? So all the things that you try to ignore, you know, you got a lot of people talking about, I don't watch the news. There's so much negativity on there. So much just depressing. I don't even watch that. Well, you forced to understand it now. You know how many people, you know, everybody believe in a higher power. It's just that the majority of people don't, how do I say, you know, so put it this way. You got all of us so-called citizens, law-abiding citizens, just say all the citizens in America, right? We all understand and believe that, yeah, there's a law, there's police officers, there's judges, and so on and so forth. Yeah, we understand there's a law system. But what? Some of the population are what you call law-abiding citizens. They be like, all right, I'm not going to speed. I'm not going to drink and drive because I know I can go to jail for this. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to sell no drugs. But then you have another part of the population that's like, man, I know that there's laws. I know I ain't supposed to be doing this shit. So they acknowledge, like, the Most High. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a God who said I'm going to listen to him, though. I'm going to do my own thing. You know, so you see this play out all the time. So everybody know. But now, you know, they try to ignore that for so long, you know. What you mean? you know, so on and so forth. Just like when all these young kids or whatever, whatnot, get on the internet, be bragging about all the shit that they got. Now they in the courtroom and they using that against them. Like, yeah, bro, like you didn't think this was gonna catch you up, or you thought you was exempt because if you ignore it, and you know you got a wise person, little bro, you don't want to be on the internet shooting videos of you waving guns, and you know you a known felon or whatever, you on probation. That's just gonna come back to bite you in the ass. Bro, you tripping. Ain't nobody watching my live like that. The police don't be watching me like that, bro. You just paranoid. Then all of a sudden your ass is in court trying to testify on why the fuck this happened and why the fuck that happened. The whole time somebody was trying to tell you, but you didn't want to think about that so-called negativity. You know, a lot of these people don't want to watch the news. There's so much negativity on there. It's so depressing. I don't even watch that. Well, you watching the news live and direct. You know, you could have been completely oblivious to the coronavirus. Now you're seeing all these stores shutting down. What the hell is going on? You're having these people now asking these questions now, man. All right, so now, let me grab that. We'll close out there. Well, let me just get to the point. We'll close out. Job 18:11, and I'm gonna go down to 15. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. Like I said, man, you don't really have to just worry about catching the coronavirus and getting sick and dying. All right, what happens if they shut down your job for a month, 2 months? All right, your kids is out of school for like 3, 4, well, really technically for the rest of the year. You know, they're like, you know what, we're gonna just cancel this here year's school or whatever for the rest of this here year, man. All right, you in college or whatever, whatnot. You got these bills that need to be paid. Because best believe they'll cancel everything else from going, but your bills will still be rolling in, and they'll still be trying to repossess your shit, still trying to evict your ass. Knowing good and damn well ain't nobody going to work, but they'll leave those people still going to work. You know, the tow truck drivers, they still gonna be going to work. In fact, that might be the shit you might need to be jumping into. Go get you a goddamn tow truck or some shit, because like, yo, I know you niggas ain't gonna be paying y'all bills because y'all ain't even been to work. Let me go ahead and rack up this here money right quick. You know, those type of jobs will still be around or whatever, whatnot. But what people working in these factories or whatever, whatnot, the malls and all these big events, airports and stuff. Hey, man. You know, they talking about people on the airplanes. They, you know, that's dangerous. Well, what about the people in the airport? You know, checking your tickets and baggage claim. You walking through the whole airport, man. All right. So it says you got all these people buying the hand sanitizer, toilet paper, fighting over that, all these masks. So what? It says terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. So all these people that was living carelessly in this careless city, now they all, oh shit, what's going on? What you mean? What's going on now? You know. It says his strength shall be hunger bitten and destruction shall be ready at his side. All right. And that's what you got going on right now, man. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. And that's, you know, how America as a whole was at first, you know, and you got Donald Trump like, oh, we all cool over here. But now they saying that he pretty much brushed up with somebody with the coronavirus. He's like, I'm still not going to get tested. I'm cool. I'm not going to get tested anyway. But nevertheless, now, lo and behold, watch you find out his ass might catch the coronavirus. Like, see, told you a little simple ass, but, you know, it is what it is. But just more or less on the population of America, they was all, nah, we good. That's over there in China making jokes and memes about they ass. And now your ass over here having a Royal Rumble on the goddamn toilet paper out in the Dollar General, man. You see what I'm saying? But now, nevertheless, everybody's being brought to their feet to acknowledge the Most High right now, man. Whether they know it or not. You know, they all being forced to deal with their wickedness. You know, they're now all being forced to have to how do I say, let me read it again. Where it says, right, verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. So they ain't gonna be so proud, oh God, ain't no God, he ain't gonna bring no judgment, I can do whatever I want to do. YOLO, you only live once, do thou wilt. Right? So his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. So now you having all these so-called atheists or people who believe in themselves now so-called wanting to convert, wanting to go to church and what does the scripture say about this, what does this say about that? All right. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. It shall bring him to the king of terrors. Now they all have to acknowledge the Most High now. You know, at first, you know, I remember they was tripping about your boy Mike Pence and how he was praying about the coronavirus. They're like, look at this stupid nigga over here praying and this and that. But now everything's starting to shut down. Them same motherfucking people was like, shh, hey, bro, can I go to church with you this weekend? What church y'all go to, man? And when y'all go to church, pray for me, bro. Pray that everything be all good, man. Now, hey, so one way or another, you're going to have to acknowledge the Most High. But what we know, a lot of these people still going to sit there and curse the Most High, whatever, whatnot. But ultimately, you know, the Most High, hey, this is why the majority of these people got to go, man. All right, we live in a time of judgment, man. This is the time that the Most High is coming to visit the earth. I think we read that already, but we can touch on it one more time. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, so all the things we was telling you about, the Most High already told you about these things, man. You're going to well understand these things, man. You're going to really realize, like, damn, them dudes outside with them signs and with the Bibles that was screaming that the white man was going to captivity, these motherfuckers might have been true the whole time. Verse 5, for like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful signs and works and endings and effects and signs. All right. And everyone that shall be saved, all right, from these things shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby you have believed. So you have a lot of these faithless people out here just going to just die in there. Where was that at, actually? Damn, how does that precept go? I think it was in 9. Oh, yeah, here it is, right here. All right, so let me read this again. 2 Ezra 9 and 7. And everyone that shall be saved and should be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. All right, so we heard this. We had faith in it. You know what I'm saying? We believed. We was moved to do the work, right? Let me jump down. Well, shit, let me just keep reading. Verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, all right, coronavirus included, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Verse 9, then they shall be in a pitiful case which have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully and shall dwell in torments. So, you know, you got people, motherfuckers dying from the coronavirus that was so-called atheists and just living their best life. Oh, fuck that God. Y'all always preaching this God stuff or whatever, whatnot. But then now they on a deathbed. They on Instagram and Twitter. You guys pray for my son, pray for my daughter, pray for my mother, my father, my wife. You know, pray, you know, send up some prayers. I'm asking for, you know, going to church for the first time, so on and so forth, you know. But it's too late now. The reason that this is happening is your judgment, you know. Dealing with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The rest of these nations are going to get it before touching the apple of the Most High's eyes, you know. Verse 10, for such in their life have received benefits, have not known me. Right? Yeah, because the minute the Lord came to you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, 2/3 of you niggas, right? But you didn't want to hearken. You despise this here word. All right? Well, it's going to go into it, verse 11. And they that have loathed my law while they yet had liberty, and so like, give me a second. And when they have yet loathed my law while they yet had liberty, and when as yet the place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. All right, so look, well, let me read the next verse. The same must know it after death by pain. All right, so look, the minute the Lord was out here telling you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, what the get down was, right? But you didn't want to hearken under that. You thought in your mind, oh, I know what's best for me. I don't want to hear all that. This, and that. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But now all of a sudden, calamities are starting to befall you and whatever, whatnot. Your kids get sick, get the coronavirus, and now dying or whatever, whatnot, and you know, that woman that you love so much or whatever, whatever the fuck is going on in your life, you know, that whatever you put first before the Most High, whatever, whatnot, and laughed and scoffed at the minute of the Lord and this whole, the truth and everything like that. You've been laughing and scoffing about that. But now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, there's people on their deathbeds, or you on your deathbed, or, you know, you throwing up blood, or you got blood coming out of every orifice of your body. You know, you crying out for somebody to pray to the Lord for you, man. Hey, man, the Lord is like, don't pray for these people, man. All right. And if you do pray for them, I'm not going to hear your ass, man. Fuck that. If anything, you gonna pray for them. Hey, pray for us. Well, not even saying speedy death, man. Let these niggas goddamn. Let me read it again. Verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain. You gonna have to learn the hard way. That's, you know, that's how we say it in the world. You know, you had the benefit of me telling you, hey, you don't want to touch that fire, bro. That shit's it's hot and it's gonna burn you. But since your ass don't want to listen, all right, your ass gonna have to learn by experience. You gonna have to learn the hard way. You gonna have to just put your hand on that damn fire and burn the skin off. You know, get 3rd-degree burn and shit. Then your ass gonna learn. All right, but it's gonna be too late for your ass at this point in time, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that as we come into the close out of Babylon the Great, man. We should be in upbeat spirits. You know, we should be in rejoicing spirits right now, man. All right, because of this would be a quick one. Isaiah 65. verse 14 to the point. Behold, my servant shall sing of joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow. Let me go up. Isaiah 65:12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer, and when I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. So that was when the place of repentance was open unto you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Most High was calling out unto you with what? The men of the Lord, man, telling you to come back to the law, statutes, commandments. But what? You despised it. You didn't. You despised, you know, the Most High's, basically His grace and His salvation. All right. So what? He's gonna number your ass to the sword. That's why 2/3 got to be put to death. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. So imagine people already fighting over the toilet paper now. Imagine once they realize that, oh shit, this food's gonna be scarce too. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out there fighting for food or whatever, whatnot. But what the men of the Lord gonna be well provided for, man. All right, the Lord's gonna always come, you know, make a way for it. Hey, somebody got to be saved and delivered, man. So He's not gonna let the elect and the men of the Lord be out here, you know, YAHAWASHI's not gonna come back and everybody's gonna be destroyed. You know, you can read that in, what is that, Matthew 24 and verse 21 and 22. I'll grab that as well too. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So while all these people are mourning, oh, what's going on? This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. All these things are crazy. And we're rejoicing because we know our salvation is right around the corner, man. All right. And what we've been doing what the Lord required of us. We've been doing to the best of our ability what the Lord asked of us to do, man. While everybody else was over there pleasing their own self. All right. This is Matthew 24 and verse 21, I think. Yep. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be. All right, and these are the times that we're in right now, because these say these are the beginning of sorrows, man. We in the sorrows now, you know. Verse 22, and except those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. So Yahawashi said it himself. These are the, you know, the words written in red. So this is Yahawashi speaking to himself. He's not gonna come back to the planet Earth and everybody's all destroyed and everybody got the coronavirus, even the elect, like damn, they all sick and blah blah blah. Nah, or they all dead. Nah. All right. It says, except those days be shortened. All right. There should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So the Lord is now speeding up the times right now. All right. And pushing out all this here judgment, but also readying the elect for salvation. All right. So we know that when Yahawashi come back to deliver, you can read about it in Revelation chapter 7, man. He's telling you he's coming back to deliver some people, man. So only the people that's going, you know, of the Israelites is going to not to say catch the coronavirus, but catch these this judgment basically is going to be what, 2/3, all right, who didn't want to answer the call of the Most High when He called out unto you, you know, but you despised it. So you're gonna have to learn after death by pain, man. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson, and as we see, hey, we'll see what next week brings, man. We'll see what else is closed down after the weekend is over with, man. You know, you might come back to where they're like, no more jobs. You can't even leave your county. Can't even leave your house, man. They got the lockdown like that, I believe, over there in Italy. They also got it going over in, or they're about to start over there in Iran, man. All right, they already got a situation like that in New Rochelle, New York, man. All right, so, hey, it's not far-fetched, man. And the things we've been saying ain't far-fetched because you're witnessing it going live right now as we speak, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I'm going to say, call halal Yahawah, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and our rule well. And salutation, much love for you. I can push in this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong and shalom.